Hey, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. So Dr. Hay and I will go through two cases. We'll go through the clinical history, investigations, and things, and we'll have you guys ask questions in the chat and try to guess if you can see what the cases are, and we'll give you the answers later on. The first case is a 9-year-old previously healthy, developmentally typical female. She came in with acute onset abdominal pain, severe nausea, and vomiting. She did seem confused and was answering questions inappropriately. She was diagnosed with appendicitis and underwent an appendectomy.
The second case is starting with an 8-year-old female who was previously healthy and developmentally appropriate, who one day she awoke feeling unwell. She was complaining of heaviness of her left side, but she didn't have any difficulties going on with her activities. There was some issues with balance until suddenly at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, she developed left-sided twitching of her arm and her leg.
Thank you so much for joining, and I hope you have lots of questions and challenge me with the things that I say. I want to start off by reflecting on those cases that Dr. Hay and Dr. Strasser brought forward. So I want you all to think about these cases because what we're going to be talking about today is the concept of how things have changed through time and what we talk about when we're talking about autoimmune encephalitis, and especially as pediatric neurologists, how we deal with the alphabet soup that we're left with these days, and how we think about acting and intervening and making decisions about these kids.
Tumors. So we certainly have cases that were thought to be inflammatory and ended up being diffuse gliomas. So that's also super important to think about. So this is our typical limbic encephalitis. We have bilateral involvement of the mesial temporal lobes. And we have, and this includes the hippocampus, the amygdala, the hypothalamus, the cingulate gyrus, and the limbic cortex. So we can make a diagnosis of definite autoimmune encephalitis with involvement of these areas with the absence of neuronal antibodies. What do we see? We see T2 and flare hyperintensity and swelling of the hippocampi and amygdala commonly, as we can see over here on the right side of the screen. I'm just going to see if I can get my...
Thank you so much, Dr. Anne, and thank you so much, Dr. Helen. We have like so many more questions, but apologies to all the participants. We could not get to all the questions, but for sure, in few coming months, we'll get in touch with the same team and try to arrange a follow-up session, which would be directed towards those questions. There were like a lot of questions about false positivity of the antibodies or where could be falsely negative. And then there were questions about the various newer agents that are in use for the refractory autoimmune encephalitis. So thank you so much, everyone. I mean, this was such an interesting session. The number of participants were 250, and there are so many congratulatory messages. So thank you, everyone.